So earlier when I did on the board, we finished everything up to 2A. Sorry, 2A. Maybe I'll go home and I'll do it again. All right, let's take a look at 2. Did we do, which one we did? We did 2A, right? We did 2B. 2A, we did 2B, sorry, we did 2B. Let's take a look at 2C. Take a look at 2C. All right, 2C. If it farther than, you're gonna have 2 inequalities. If it just farther than, then no equal sign, right? Just greater than. But if farther than or included, you're gonna use we're gonna include the equal signs. So let's take a look at 2C. All value farther than distant of 5. So let me highlight here, farther than distant of 5 in yellow, and then from 2. So that means your center shift, right? It's no longer 0, no longer x minus 0. It's gonna be x minus 2, right? It's minus 2. Well, x minus h here is 2, so x minus 2. For this case, I'm gonna do the absolute value inequality first. Maybe it's easier for you. So I have absolute value of x minus 2, and according to the thing I highlight in yellow, we're gonna use greater than or greater than 2. Done. But let's write out in inequality. You're gonna have 2 lines instead of 1 line, right? It's not gonna be sandwiched. The solution is gonna be at the 2 tails. So I'm gonna have let me draw something here for you. My center is 2, and then the distance is 5 units apart each way. Yes, very good. So x minus 2, greater than 5, x minus 2, rather x negative quantity of x minus 2 greater than 5. The top is nothing I can do, just x minus 2 greater than 5, bless you. On the bottom is going to be what? If I divide both sides by negative 1, x minus 2 less than negative 5. So it less than negative 5, x minus 2 less than negative 5 means the solution is right there. And x greater than 5, x minus 2 greater than 5, your solution is right there. By the way, this is not 5 down here. Okay, that's not 5. Remember the center shift, so that would be 7 there, right? 7 there. But we don't care about that. It's only care about is the center is x minus 2. As you can see, when you have an absolute value greater than a constant, your solution is at the 2 tails. If it's less than, your solution is being sandwiched between the 2 numbers. So here you're gonna have 2 intervals, right? Yeah, 2 intervals. I forgot to write the interval on the other one. So 2 intervals, so it will be what? Negative infinity 2. You know, don't write interval. We don't need to. We're not solving for x, so we don't have to write interval. Yes.
Absolute value. Why is it x minus 2 greater than 2 and not greater than 5?
Oh, 5 is the distance from the center. Yeah. It's I know it's kind of confusing. Like, oh, which one I choose? 5 or 2?
So the distance is on outside.
Yeah, distance is absolute value is distance from 0. Yes.
But why does it? So for all of these ones, you put the distance on the outside. Why for that one you didn't put 5 on the outside and you put 2?
What do you mean to us? I did put outside.
You put the distance right here is on the outside.
Yeah.
The distance right here is on the outside.
I
The
put outside.
distance for yours you put 2. Is it supposed to be 2 or 5?
5. The distance is 5. Let me. I think you mistaken. So distance of 3, right? I put outside. Distance of 5.
Yeah, but
I put outside.
Absolute value inequality, like it says x minus 2, absolute value greater than 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's not greater than 5.
Oh, 5. Sorry. That's yes. I thought what you meant. Sorry. I thought I did put 5. Thank you. Thank you very much. Did I say 5 or 2? Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, 5. D. So which one outside? 4, right? 4. So this one I will write it x what x? Yes, x plus 2, right? Absolute value, and then because it's farther than, it's gonna be greater than, and then include there's equal sign, and then the outside will be 4. So let's go back to the inequality. How would I write this? Yeah, equal to. Maybe fix it so it's more obvious, like that. Because the including. Inequality, same thing. You do the same thing. Let me draw my picture first. So here's -2, and the distance is 4 units away each way. So I'm gonna have x plus 2 greater than 4, or x plus 2 parenthesis and then negative in front of that greater than 4, and then you solve. Do not solve for x. We're just trying to solve for the absolute value inequality. So x plus 2 greater equal to, forgot the equal there. So many things to keep track. And then x plus 2 less than or equal to -4. Makes sense, right? Greater than 4, or greater or equal to 4, and then less than or equal to 4, -4. My goal for this problem is that whenever you have x minus h, and then if it less than or less than or equal to some constant, how many, the solution will be how many intervals? 1, right? Being sandwiched. Remember, less than is going to be in sandwich. So this is sandwich K. Solution going to be in sandwich between the constant, right? You're going to have solution to be in sandwich. When you have x minus h, absolute value, greater than or greater than equal to a constant, how many interval do you have? 2, right? The 2 tails. 2 tails. Going to be the 2 tail. I call that sandwich solution. And I call this the 2 tail solution. Not sure. Number 3. Student who score within or include 15 points of the score of 85 will pass a math exam. What do you think? It's going to be the sandwich solution or the tail solution? The 2 tail solution. Sandwich, right? Sandwich. So let's figure it out the absolute value first. So score of 85, the score 85, so that means x minus 85. Absolute value, because it's within or include, it's gonna be less than or equal to 15. See if it makes sense. Just 85 is my center right here, x minus 85, and then it go 15 unit each way. So it's within or include, you're gonna have one line inequality, right? In being sandwiched. So it's gonna be x minus 85 being sandwiched between what value here? Huh? 15 and, well, 15 here. What about this one? What the other direction? Negative 15, right? Negative 15. Or you can do it the long way. You can do it like I did up here, like this. You still come back to the same what we do here. Let it make sense. See if it makes sense. Don't write this down. X minus 85 is greater than equal to 15. X negative x minus 85. Don't forget the parenthesis. Greater equal to 15. Let's solve for this. X minus x greater than, if you add 85 both sides, x greater equal to 100. I'm sorry, less than. Should be less than here because we within or include. On the second inequality, I'm gonna distribute the negative. So negative x plus 85 less than or equal to 15, and then solve for that one. Negative x less than or equal to negative 75. Divide both sides by negative 1. X greater equal to 75. So as long as your score is greater than 75 and less than 100, you pass the class. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? It makes sense. Yes, right. 75 is C. Yeah, it's C. If you have questions, this is the time to ask. So far, all I want you to remember that really. The two, how your solution can be formed depend on what type of inequality, absolute value inequality you given. This is demonstration. Why is it true? Now, the graph of absolute value is a V shape. Yes. Yeah, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. Now, I want to talk about. I can put any graph inside the absolute value. What happened? It's f of x is an arbitrary function. It could be quadratic. It could be cubic. And then I put absolute value around it. See what happens. So let's talk about arbitrary function first, but being absolute value. Same thing with the absolute value of a function is if a function is positive, if f of x, if the function is stay above the x-axis, negative f of x if the function stay below the x-axis. It's negative. This is how we graph this. Step number one, well, step number one, you graph the function f of x, right? Maybe I'll just say step number one here. Number one, you graph f of x. And then step number two, any portion of f of x that stay above the x-axis, you leave it alone. So leave the graph of f unchanged for the portion that lie above the x-axis. For the portion that stay below the x-axis, you flip it. You reflect it over the x-axis. You don't understand? That's okay. We'll do the example. You know what I'll show you what I meant by that. Let's graph this one. Y equal 2 times quantity of x minus 1 squared minus 4. Is it quadratic? Yes. -1 tell you to move left or right? Yeah, right. Right, 1. And then what's the next step? Remember the order. Vertical will be last, right? Vertical will be last. What's the next step? There's no flipping, right? There's no negative, so no flipping. The 2 tell you to do vertical stretch or vertical compression. Stretch, right? Get skinnier by 2. Vertical stretch, and then the -4. Yeah, 4. Right there, right? Then move to the right 1, right here. And then it gets a little bit skinnier and then move down 4. So it's right there. All right, so that is the graph. That is a graph of with no absolute value. Now, what happened if I put absolute value around it? Number 1, we graphed f of x. Yes, we did. Number 2, leave the portion of the graph of f of x that stay above the x-axis. So let me highlight the portion that stay above the x-axis. That's portion, yes. What do we do with the portion that stay below the x-axis? We flip it, right? We flip it. So let me flip it. Here, -4 become +4 here. I'll try to make it as curvy as I can. You flip it like that. So your overall graph, after you put the absolute value around that quadratic function, it looks like this. Do you have any questions? Let me show you how it looks in decimal. Right there. So step 1, you graph the original graph. Step 2, leave the portion that stay above the x-axis. For whatever stay below the x-axis, you flip it like a mirror image. Number 5, it just I think this one is number 5. Before I do anything, let me give you the vertex formula of the absolute value. If there's no vertex, I didn't make that up because at that point, that pointy point, the slope is undefined. So we shouldn't call that vertex. But just to distinguish with the general formula. So y equal a absolute value of x minus h plus k. like that. Horizontal shift. We're gonna have horizontal shift. I'll highlight in yellow. We can have reflection, green, stretch, blue, and vertical shift will be red. Number 5, they want you to come up with an equation using the information that they give you. Transformation. First of all, I would suggest you write out the vertex formula. So we're looking for H, we're looking for K, we're looking for A, right? Shift left 1 unit, that would be what? H, right? So X minus H. So X minus 1. Y equal blank. And then plus up 2 unit, that will be stretch. I know I don't do the order here. I'm not graphing, I don't care, right? I just do the one that easier first. So plus 2. And then what is my A? Up to, oh, left side, sorry, yeah, sorry. I always messed up about that part. Thank you, thank you. Yes, the reflect over the x-axis, so that'll be green. Because you guys are pretty pro at this now. Yeah. Can someone tell me what B is? Y equal x minus or plus, depend, and then all right, give me something easy first. You don't have to do by order. You're not graphing. What's X? What's X? I'm sorry, what's H? No H, right? 0, X minus 0, which is X. Vertical stretch by factor of 3, so that will be 3, right? And then shift down 7 unit, that will be my vertical shift. Very good, thank you. If it bother you, the absolute value is too big, maybe move it a little closer. Then you're done. Can you do something like this on the exam? For exam 1, I'm writing it. We take in turn writing exam. Exam 2 will be Tom. Exam 3 will be Nicole. You know, one thing I hate about this, I don't get to write all the exams. The things that I can't give you information that I'm, expecting. Right? Exam 1 is okay, but exam 2, exam 3, I have to wait for others to give me the exam, see how they write it, and then I'll tell you what to expect. But the good news is it won't be difficult. I promise you, all the problem on the exam, it never harder than what we're doing on the lecture. And it's just from the lecture, really. I look at the lecture to write exams. It's all from lectures. Objective 4. How about here, oh sorry. Here, if I give you the graph, I want you to come up with the equation or function. Again, use use this formula. We always write this. Maybe I'll give you a point just writing this. Write that one up. And now you determine your horizontal shift, your vertical shift, or better yet, find the point HK. The point HK always either the minimum or the maximum. It's kind of like a parabola, right? HK, that's your vertex. So equal to -4, -5. So now you can just put in. So y equal a absolute value of x gonna be +4 or -4? +4, right? +4 absolute value and then -5. How do I solve for a? No, this is not linear equation, so.
Would it be 2?
Me too. I don't know. Let me see.
Or 3?
Yes, 3. Well, how did you get 3?
From the vertex, just go rise 3 and then to the next point is 1. So it's 3.
Okay, all right. Okay, good, very good. But let's not do that because if there's because that's integer, right? But what if it's fraction that is difficult? Let me show you the way that you always get a no matter what. Just like you solve in linear equation, when you have b, I want you to solve for m. What do? You find a point from the graph, right? And then you plug it in, right? So on any point on this black graph, it's the solution of that equation, right? So pick a point. I would suggest something integer. So pick a point. Let's say pick, my favorite is something with 0. I'll pick the y-intercept. You can pick something else. Somebody can pick this point. Some other student pick this point. Doesn't matter. I just like to pick something that to make my calculation easy. So 0, 7, and then I plug it in, right? 7 is y. And then, sorry, I'm gonna plug in for x2. So x is 0 minus 5. And then you solve for a. 0 plus 4 is 4. Absolute value of 4 is also 4. So 4a. 7 equal 4a minus 5. Subtract 5 both sides. 4a equal, I'm sorry, add 5 both sides. 4a equal 12. Divide both sides by 4. A equal 3. So your complete function, complete equation is y equal 3 times absolute value of x plus 4 minus 5. Let's try one. And it's getting easier. Well, at least not easy, not too easy, but it's make more sense to you in terms of solving the equation. Objective 5, we're gonna solve. We're gonna solve. So given the function, given the equation, can you solve? When you solve an absolute value, the first thing first, you need to isolate the absolute value. So let's isolate. I'm talking about 8b. So let's isolate absolute value of 3x minus 7. Subtract 5 both sides. Equal 9 now. Remember, I talk about positive case and negative case. So the positive case will be either 3x minus 7 equal 9, or negative quantity of 3x minus 7 equal 9. Everyone know how to solve linear equation? 3x equal 16, x equals 16 over 3. That's one of them. Negative 3x plus 7 equal 9. Negative 3x equal 2. X equal negative 2/3. Today is the 23rd of. Let's solve D. What the first thing I do, what do I do? Huh? Yes, very good. Isolate absolute value, right? So x equal, absolute value of x equal negative 5. Critical thinking. To prove that you really true math students. If you're not, don't worry, because probably most of you not a math major. What should I say next? Hint, use the definition of absolute value. Careful. What's the definition of absolute value? The distance from 0, right? Can distance be negative? No, right? We don't say I run negative 2 miles, right? So I know the solution. There's no value of absolute value of x. When you plug it, it equals to negative 5, right? Because the absolute value can make any negative number be positive. So when you see a distance equal negative number, you say no solution. You want to be fancy, you can use that notation, I mean empty set. And then your explanation will be because this can't be negative. You don't have to, but let's do E. Let's do E. I need to isolate the absolute value, so I'm gonna multiply both sides by 2/3. That's 2/3. So 2/3, 2/3. 12 is the same thing as 12 over 1. On the left hand side, that's cancel. I just 1. So I have absolute value of 4/5 x minus 4 equal 24 divided by 3 is 8. What do I do next? What do I do next? What do I do next? Yeah, split it, right? Positive k, negative case, always. Once you isolate absolute value, that's your thing, right? So, and it's true for even inequality, right? 4/5 x minus, I don't like the way in the textbook, right? It's kind of difficult to understand. So 4 negative 4/5 x minus 4 equal 8. 4/5 x equal 12. Multiply both sides by 5/4. It's equal 12 divided by 4 is 3, 3 times 5, 15. Kind of lacking. At this point, it's easy, right? You guys, everybody know how to solve linear. Negative 4/5 x equal 4. Multiply both sides by negative 5/4. And so x equal negative 5. Or do you have any questions so far? So far, so good. So good. For F, you can do it yourself. I'll give you the answer. Answer will be x equal 1/5. Please practice. Please practice on these. And x equal negative 1. It's kind of similar to B. Inequality, and then we'll be done. Inequality. It's the same thing. We do the same thing. We have positive k, negative k. So let's go straight to the problem. First, I need to isolate my absolute value. Positive k will be 2x minus 3 less than 5, or negative quantity of 2x minus 3 less than 5. See, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Don't wait for me. You can just solve it anyway. 2x less than 8, x less than 4. 3 less than 5. Negative 2x less than 2. X greater than negative 1. The only thing I see students make mistake is just, forgot to flip the sign. I know you know how to do it. It's just on the exam, you're too nervous. Sometimes you forgot little things. We're not done here. We have to write the solution in interval notation. My suggestion to you is draw it out. If you're good, if you're good, you would imagine things in your head. Go ahead. But for me, I usually draw it out. I make mistake often. So I have negative 1 here. I have 4 here. Care about the scale as long as I put in negative the smaller number first and then the bigger number later. Is negative 1 and 4 included? No, so I'm going to put a hollow dot around them. X is less than 4. X is less than 4. It's go that way, right? And x is greater than negative 1. It go that way. What is my solution? sandwich between, right? The intersection is your solution. So the intersection from -4 to or -1 to 4. Bracket or parenthesis? Do you have any questions? Why don't you try B? I'll give you a minute to try B. Walk around, see how you do. If you have question, please ask. Oh, thank you. Yes, yes.
Split the equation.
Yes, you split.
Version and a
Yeah,
positive
same
version.
same thing. Mhm.
So we were taught to put negative.
Oh, you
the
yes, you can do like
answer.
that, but you have to flip the sign.
Yeah, if you put it there, you don't have a reason to put the sign.
What do you mean?
Because the negative is right here. If it was right here, you would
If you
the
put a
sign.
negative here, you have to flip it into a positive. That's why I don't do that. I know
Okay.
the book or whatever the note in there, they show you how to do that, but
Okay.
people forget to flip the sign. So I always add the negative on the left, so I don't have to do anything.
So if we do, because that's how I was taught.
If you do like
Just
that,
flip
you
the sign.
flip the sign. Yeah,
Okay.
make sure you remember to
Thanks.
flip the sign. What's your name? What's your name? Mohammed.
Yeah.
Mohammed said he want to put the negative for the 5. Oh, that's okay. You can do that. So in the negative k, you can put the -5 here. But if you do that, remember to flip this sign. Right? And people forgot. Right? So I don't ever mention that. But if you want to do that, that's fine. Do you have a solution? Okay, let's do this. So isolate the absolute value. Absolute value for x minus 3 greater than equal to 2. The positive case, 4x minus 3 greater equal to 2. And the negative case, negative 4x minus 3 greater equal to 2. 4x greater equal to 5, x greater equal to 5/4. So what you get? Yeah. By the way, last lecture, remember you point out where there's something I did something wrong last lecture. I'll email you guys, okay? It's just a small thing, but she mentioned it in class. She was right. I was wrong. But I don't have time now. We'll talk about it later. Negative 4x plus 3 greater equal to 2. Negative 4x greater equal to -1. Divide both sides by -4. X less than or equal to 1/4. Yes, yes. 5/4, 5/4, 1/4 first, 1/4, and then 5/4 is included. So I'm gonna use solid dot. X is greater than 5/4, and x is less than or equal to 1/4. Let's use. Let's show again. So your solution will be 2 tails, right? So negative. So see that 2 tail, because look at your original problem, greater than, right? That's a value greater than a constant. Negative infinity to 1/4. Bracket or parenthesis at 1/4. Very good. Union bracket 5/4 to infinity. Can you do something like this on exam? Yes. 11 is the special case. Remember, I said distance cannot be negative, right? Let's take a look at 11b first. Absolute value of 3x minus 5 is greater than negative 13. Is it always true? Think of it. You know, I don't care about the number inside. All I think about, I know that whenever I see absolute value, I think of distance. Is distance always greater than negative number? Why not? Yes, so it's true. It's positive. Distance always greater than negative number. So it's true. So this is true. So because it's always true, any number you plug in for x will be always greater than negative 13. So what do? What's your solution? Everything, right? Everything. If you don't trust me, you can do yourself. Okay, go home and do it. Go home and do it yourself. Check it. Do positive case and negative case. 11a. Now the distance is less than a negative number. Is it true or false? This is false, right? Because any number you plug in for x will be greater than negative 13, right? So solution will be empty set. So those are two special case. If there's something like that on the exam, I leave you very little space. I mean, I don't want you to solve. Last one and we'll be done. Okay, so let's take a look at this absolute value graph. As you can see, using transformation, you're gonna move left one, right, and then stretch, get a little skinnier by 3 units, and then move down 5. Find the intercept of f of x. Find the intercept, x-intercept. The x-intercept when y equals 0, yes? There's no height, right? There's no height there. So what do I do? To find its fraction, I cannot just eyeball it. So in order to do that algebraically, what do I do? I set the height equals 0, right? And then I solve. So the height will be the function right there, 3 absolute value of x plus 4 minus 5 equals 0. Then you solve for x. Add 5 first, divide both sides by 3. Now you have a positive case and negative case like we always do. X plus 4 equal 5/3. Imply x equal minus 4. 4 times 3 is 12, so negative 7 over 3. You use your calculator if it's exam. And then negative k is negative x plus 4 equal 5/3. Negative x minus 4 equal 5/3. Negative x equal 17 over 3. 12 plus 5, 17. Yeah. X equal negative 17 over 3. Let me ask you, which one's smaller number? Negative 17 over 3 or negative 7 over 3? Which one's smaller? Yes. What do you mean? Here or here? Oh, I just isolate, add 5, right? So far so good? And then divide both sides by 3. I still have the absolute value. And then now I split into 2 cases. And then I have a negative here for the negative. Which one's smaller? The negative 17 over 3 or negative 7 over 3? Yeah. Yeah, so this is gonna be negative 17 over 3, and this is negative 7/3 of course, comma 0, comma 0. What about the y-intercept? We're almost done. For the y-intercept, you can eyeball it, but in case you can't eyeball it, if it like in fraction, then you set x equals 0, right? That's when x equals 0. If x equals 0, y is 7. It's lagging. It's 10C. Increasing, decreasing function. We'll talk about it next time. No. Thank you.